to get people leftist literature, Michael Parenti, Huey P. Newton, etc. Get it to ex-cons and others. Educate the disenfranchised. Yes, thank you. I love this comment, and I've been meaning to talk more about mutual aid. Everyone should go follow the Revolutionary Blackout Network. These guys have been creating a mutual aid infrastructure based on Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers, as well as teaching classes, educating other people on how to do this kind of work. These guys have deeply ingrained themselves in their communities and with the working mass. And those communities know they can rely on the Revolutionary Network for diapers and food, other essentials, what Marx would call the means of subsistence. And this shows people when capitalism fails you and when the government fails you, you can go to the socialists. The socialists will be there with open arms to give you the things you need to survive, as well as education on why capitalism creates these conditions of poverty and how to organize and struggle against it for a better world. Shout out to these freaking amazing comrades. Please follow them. We need a...
Hello, my friends. Hello, my family. We are back again. Welcome to Revolutionary Blackout Monday Live. I was on earlier. First, unfortunately, we was interrupted. Hopefully everything goes smooth this time. I've been having a lot of issues with my internet recently. It was working all day. Then literally all day it was fine. Then as soon as I went live, it started messing up again. So can I make a shameless plug? Support the Patreon. Link in the description. Help us get better internet, so we can continue to give you guys quality content. So let me add on to the video. I had to play that video again, just in case you guys, one of the few people who watched the first attempt at this live. And that's the message I want to continue to spread at RBN. I want to empower you people. I feel like the biggest nihilists in politics are the people who tell people to vote every 2 years. And then if Republicans win, oh, woe is us. We're screwed. We're fucked. What are we going to do? Oh, my God, Trump won the election. The sky is falling out. Oh, my God, Ron DeSantis is coming. I truly believe the biggest nihilists in politics are the people who only put all their stock into politicians. We need to start putting stock into our own community. We go over a lot of frustrating things every day on Revolutionary Blackout. But I want you guys to take these frustrating conversations, these saddening conversations, like when I talk about how our government funds the apartheid state of Israel, when I talk about both parties funding this fascist police state, when I talk about the rise of the national security state, I'm doing that to light a fire under your ass, so you don't invest any time on these politicians who claim to be your friend, who will only turn around and then do the bidding of the national security state, like our friend Charles Booker, not friend, that we're gonna talk about today. So big shout out to my friends. Let's get a chat check. Hopefully you guys enjoy this time slot. CJ's gonna be early. I'm gonna be late. Get back to that old school RBN schedule. We're gonna have a great show tomorrow. Nick and CJ tomorrow. We're gonna have Chuck Moody on. We're gonna have Wyatt Reed on, I think sometime this week as well. Got a lot of great guests coming on this week. So the FBI is in your Wi-Fi. I don't know, man. A lot of shady stuff going on. Big shout out to Savvy Sav, Leroy. Yeah, we back. It was hopefully this live go well. Hopefully we don't have any interruptions. If we do, I'll just cut it, and if we mess up this stream and my internet cut out again, I'll just unlisten it and we start again on Tuesday. Me and CJ will be live on Tuesday. Big shout out to Yasmin. Jimmy Dore, play your comments on Nina today. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Like when, just like well, I'm trying to think who said it. Fuck, but like every time there's like a controversy with Jimmy, it's like fuck, he always getting attacked in such a bad faith. They force me to always take a side, right? I'm not shy to talk about what we disagree with, what we agree with, but it's always like these shit libs. We always gotta correct the record, especially when they start using blackness and weaponizing it while running interference for the Democratic Party. It's insane. Savvy had issues. Jimmy had issues this week. Yeah, we would try to hook up, but we couldn't connect for scheduling reasons. But I reached out to him after that video because I appreciate the shout out. I'm trying to get Ben Noren back on as well. We're trying to schedule that sometime this week. We wasn't on Jimmy. He was playing some clips. So check out his channel. A lot of great clips of us breaking down Nina's shit library. Nina's shit library. So big shout out to Jimmy for showing our criticisms of Nina Turner and these progressives like Charles Booker, who I have been calling out for quite a long time. He had a lot of shit lib tendencies, right? And then the Democratic Party put the fear of God. The Democratic Party put the fear of God into the heart of Charles Booker. The first time Charles Booker ran for office, because I mean it's clear now that Booker, he wants to be a politician. These people who run as progressives, they run as Justice Democrats. They have a career mapped out for them, just like Nina. We were talking about Nina. Like Nina going after Jimmy like this was a planned route for her career. Even though the Democratic Party treated her like shit, she's still wishing happy birthday to Barack Obama. Like, who does that? Like, Barack Obama endorsed it against you. The entire Democratic Party establishment fought to defeat you, but she's still begging for crumbs. So, can I have some more? Please give me some clout. Please give me a job. She got tweeting about January 6th and shit. Trump derangement syndrome all the time while the neoliberal establishment expanding the police state, the national security state, funding ethnic genocide. Jim Crow Joe is literally expanding the war on drugs. We're going to cover that here later. Expanding the war on drugs. But you guys vote for that person? That is a very simple point to make. Whether it's Jimmy Dore or anyone else. If you're going to call anyone anti-black, I do not want to see... You better not vote for Jim Crow Joe. That's all I'm going to say. Like anyone who voted for Joe Biden, you lost that card forever. Especially after how they treated the Haitians. Especially after how they treated the Cubans now. Now they funding the police more. You had the Biden administration that literally went to Africa. They went to Africa despite the neocons and neoliberals say China is an evil, malevolent power because they want to manipulate China for their own geopolitical reasons. The United States, everything they say and accuse China of is a giant projection. The United States went to China and was like, if you guys don't pick our side, if you guys don't stop buying Russian grain and Russian oil, we're going to cut off humanitarian aid. We're going to stop doing business with you guys. We're going to pull the Cuban route on you guys. So it's the United States that's throwing around its geopolitical power in order to blackmail and take advantage of and exploit African nations. But despite that, Nina Turner will call anyone who don't follow Democratic shit lib talking points anti-black. So we had to speak up. Now I'm going to go on Charles Booker because I called out Nina Turner. I called out Charles Booker. I called out Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar. Where is your support regarding the FBI cracking down on socialists? Where is your support regarding Jim Crow Joe funding the police more and implementing anti-black policy? Think about this, guys. Think about this. The right wing, especially on the eve of January 6th, you have elected Republican officials standing and going to bat for people who is being indicted regarding January 6th. Meaning the Republicans, the elected Republicans, they have the back of their inside game. You guys know that, and liberals, they attack Republicans for this. And you can attack and disagree with the substance of this, but when it comes to the inside-outside game, the Republicans coordinate with their inside game. And they hate it they're like, oh my God, you see, you guys see the Republicans helping the January 6th Capitol rioters. My senator, Josh Hawley, they're like, Josh Hawley gave a thumbs up, a fist up to the January 6th protesters. Because the Republicans, they support the inside game. And then the January 6th protesters started being targeted by the Fed. And then the Republicans like abolish the FBI. They was attacking the Capitol Police and the federal government for going after their people. They were speaking out for their people. The Republican Party speak out for their people when the government, when the FBI go after them politically. But when the FBI raised the Uhuru Black Socialist Movement, not a goddamn word for Nina Turner. Not a word from Cori Bush. We covered it on this channel. And funny enough, Jimmy Dore covered it. But crickets from Nina, crickets from Cori, crickets from Jamal, crickets from Charles Booker. So I'm asking you guys, why do the progressives abandon us to the police state? And then they all want to tweet about Brittany Griner, which I explained before. I think that's a tragedy. I think it's unnecessary for any state to crack down on people for marijuana charges. That is not a pro-worker position. That is anti-worker. That is anti-Marxist, as far as I'm concerned. So I do have criticism of them doing that. But look at my coverage. I've been consistent in calling out Jim Crow Joe on the drug war. You got everyone tweeting, "Free Brittany Griner, free Brittany Griner." Jim Crow Joe is arresting more people for marijuana charges, 25% more than under Donald Trump. Crickets. These same progressives are saying, "Oh, Joe Biden's doing better than expected." AOC still says that to this day. Because the conditions, and I want to be clear, I include all workers, including poor white workers. I talk about my experience and what's going on in my community because this is what I can see, right? So this includes all workers, but specifically when it comes to the state of the black community, the progressives don't give a shit. That's not even on their calculus, on the political moves that they're making, right? There's not, like, whenever people talk about the state of the Democratic Party, their anti-blackness is never even discussed. Joe Biden is one of the most anti-black politicians in the modern era, and that never comes up in their calculation. They always say, "Oh, lesser of two evils." Lesser of two evils for you? Who? The white suburbia? That's who the Democratic Party is. And the reason why I continue to call out Charles Booker, Nina Turner, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Bernie Sanders, these people are enabling this party that is dragging people to the right. The biggest misconception I have seen that people continue to repeat is the idea that Bernie Sanders turned everyone to a socialist, that he shifted the Overton window to the left. That is not what happened. Bernie Sanders shifted what it means to be a socialist to the right. And they are there to shift the Overton window of its expectations to the right. So ask yourself this. Why don't AOC ever tweet about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, sorry. Taylor Greene does. Because when Bernie Sanders and AOC and Ilhan Omar, when they don't tweet about Julian Assange, well, I think Ilhan is actually the only one who actually did, right? I think Ilhan is the only one who ever said anything about him in the last year. Like, there's literally no tweets under AOC's profile for it. So they do that because they want people to not focus on Julian Assange, and they're trying to give the illusion that it's not a big deal, right? So if everyone stays silent on Julian Assange, then the left movement who look to these politicians, they are given the impression that this is not an urgent or important issue. Meanwhile, these same people would tweet about January 6th. They would tweet pulling derangement syndrome shit out all the time because they want people, don't talk about Julian Assange, don't talk about the crimes in NATO, don't talk about Boston FBI, talk about January 6th, talk about funding Ukraine more, which Charles Booker has done. I'm going to show you guys. He attacked Rand Paul from the right multiple times. It just got absurd because he's defending the Espionage Act. Do you guys see what's happening here? You got a group of progressives that are apologizing for the national security state. And then, because of their presence, because Ilhan Omar, AOC, and the progressives vote for NATO, they vote for NATO expansion. They cheer on Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan. That way, the progressive position becomes the imperialist position. While they allow Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, they will allow them to call out the FBI. They'll allow them to call out NATO and Ukraine war funding. So then the establishment like, oh, if you're calling out NATO, that's the right-wing position because Marjorie Taylor Greene said it. Marjorie Taylor Greene said we should defund the FBI. That's why we shouldn't be for it. And me and CJ, we're going to break down this debate that Cenk Uygur and Bree had. The most hilarious thing that Cenk Uygur said at the end, he was like, you know what, I'm not even for abolishing the FBI right now because if we abolish the FBI right now, that will only help Trump and that will prove everything the MAGA was saying about the FBI correct. I'm like, bro, who gives a shit? He literally said, and we're going to break this down tomorrow, he literally said, he's like, I'm actually not for abolishing the FBI. You guys see what it's really about? They don't agree with us. The boutique left do not agree with us. Charles Booker do not agree with us. They believe in Western chauvinism, right? They believe in the United States as this exceptional state, and they will continue to repeat the talking points of the national security state because they truly believe they are the good guys, or at least they decided to believe that because they wanted to sell out for their career, which I believe is the case for Charles Booker and a lot of these people. So before we get into Charles Booker defending the Espionage Act, actually, let me put that. Charles Booker defends the Espionage Act. Here's this receipt because Barack Obama was the guy who used the Espionage Act more than any president in American history combined. I think he was the only one who used it in decades, right? Who's the only president that used it other than Obama? It hasn't been used recently, I don't think. But Barack Obama's war on a free press, Obama's effort to plug leaks and prosecute leakers even exceeded those of George W. Bush's administration. Now, do you guys see why Charles Booker praises Obama? Why Nina Turner wishes Barack Obama a happy birthday? Because the thing that I find the biggest disagreement with the Barack Obama, they see as a good thing. So when we say that Barack Obama expanded the national security state, when he used the Espionage Act, that's a really bad thing to us. But to Nina Turner and Charles Booker, they're like, so? That's based. They probably think that's based. U.S. presidents have had a long, dishonorable history of trying to undermine the First Amendment, especially the freedom of the press. Woodrow Wilson, brutal suppression of critics, like we see with Julian Assange, and the Uhuru Black Socialist movement, and anyone who speaks out against the state. Because I'm pissed because Trump supporters are now hijacking this talking point that the FBI is used for political purposes. Now, they are off the mark because they're saying that for political purposes. But if you guys don't think the FBI and CIA is not used for political purposes, you're either extremely privileged or unbelievably naive. It's 100% used for political purposes. Let's continue this. They explain Woodrow Wilson. They did a lot of prosecutions under the Espionage Act of 1917. During the 1930s, Franklin Delano Roosevelt harassed activists, including members of the press. This is the problem with the Espionage Act. So the Espionage Act says the United States is able to detain and criminalize anyone who they deem to be a spy or an enemy of the state. You see how vague that is? So essentially it becomes criminalizing anyone who disagrees with you or is an enemy of the government, and then they will whip up any charge and say, oh, we're going to charge them for the Espionage Act. We're going to charge Julian Assange for doing journalism, the Espionage Act. Daniel Hale exposed our corruption, Espionage Act. Over and over again. And do you guys really think that I'm smarter than Charles Booker, than LC, than Jamal Bowman, and the people who cheering on the Espionage Act now? They know this history. They know what the Espionage Act does. John Carrico, Chelsea Manning, also cracked down by the Espionage Act. The Obama Justice Department was obsessed with going after critics of the U.S. government using the Espionage Act. Edward Snowden, Julian Assange. Why would anyone on the left defend the Espionage Act? This is John Carrico, which we had him on during our anti-imperialist summit. We need to reach out to him again. He's a brilliant guy. I need to cut that segment and post it again. Our segment with John Carrico, where we were talking about the history of the CIA. Amazing segment. I actually got I gotta remind myself to do that. Let's continue here. But this is what he said. He said President Obama has been unprecedented in his use of the Espionage Act to prosecute those who whistleblowing he wants to curtail. This is fascism. The Espionage Act is a fascist policy. Because one of the tenets of fascism, one of the definitions of fascism, is an authoritarian state that is willing to crack down on dissent. The Espionage Act is there for the government to crack down on their enemies in dissent, just as fascism is defined by. So I wanted to at least share that. I'm gonna get to another source here. Let me pull this one up here, and then I'm gonna show you guys Charles Booker defending this, attacking Rand Paul to his right on the Espionage Act. Let me take never mind. Obama used Espionage Act to put a record number of reporter sources in jail. Trump could be even worse. You guys see how the Democratic Party, they will create all these unbelievably nasty powers, and then they pass it to a fascist Republican. And then they're like, oh my God, I can't believe the Republicans are doing all this crazy stuff. Because you guys gave them the precedent. You guys literally created the power structure which was needed in order to them to do said bad thing. So the liberals are like, oh my God, Trump got kids in cages. Who built them? Joe Biden and this man, Barack Obama. So Charles Booker, without any doubt in my mind, knows this stuff, right? But his job, just like the job of Bernie Sanders, just like the job of AOC, Ilhan Omar, these people, their job is to shift the Overton window to the right. To the right. Oh man, I gotta fix this. Fuck. I started the stream over, so now my thumbnail is not great. I'm on. Hopefully this works. There we go. Let me save. All right, I just updated the thumbnail. That's probably why. We need to get some more people in here. All right, I just updated the thumbnail because I had to start the stream over again. Hopefully we don't get pulled. Oh yeah, I want to ask you guys something. Do you guys get a notification for the stream? Because we've been getting screwed by the algorithm. I also want to ask you guys another question that you guys can leave in the chat. I'm also been very interested in this. Where are you guys from? Like, where are you guys watching this stream? Because I get people that tell me it's super strange. Like, people will say, yo, I'm from Italy. Solidarity. Some guy wrote me this long message saying solidarity from the UK. Brothers in South Africa. So I'm very proud of the international audience we have. So, and also all across the United States. It doesn't have to be international. All across the United States. So I'm interested in that. So also leave a comment for that. I'm very interested in that because I get people that say they walk for all over the country, which still blows my mind. Still blows my mind. All right, let's get to Charles Booker's tweet because I wanted to at least quickly explain because I can do a whole live stream. Like I can invite John Carrico. I can invite my friend Aaron Good. You guys saw him on Multipolarista. We can have Ben Norton on here. Like I'm trying to go down this week. We got to figure out the time and everything, but we can do a whole segment over the Espionage Act and the consequences. And there's no doubt in my mind that Charles Booker doesn't know this. So this is I'm gonna show you the tweet that he got mad at. This is Rand Paul. This is Rand Paul. Rand Paul said the Espionage Act was abused from the beginning to gel the centers of World War I. It is long past time to repeal this egregious affront to the First Amendment. So I can't help but say, well, I think this has been Rand Paul's position, but it's like you're only saying this now because of Donald Trump, which is really cringe. But I'm glad he's here. And if you're a serious supporter of Rand Paul, if you're not one of the deeply unserious people, I'm glad you are here. But the FBI has been the number one enemy of the left. Anything that the right got hit by was just friendly fire to maintain appearances, right? Like if you said bye and watched it, and this, I literally asked these questions on Twitter. I will ask liberals like, how can you still defend the CIA and FBI? Like you guys saw MLK was killed by the FBI. FBI killed Fred Hampton. Do you guys think the agencies got better? I literally don't understand it. What is the liberal position or the progressive position for keeping these agencies in place? There is none. So I think Rand Paul reached his conclusion, not out like honest or anything, right? See, this is what I mean right here. Someone tweeted this out as a got you, where he was caught being a hypocrite. And this is what Rand Paul has a history of doing this. He sounds good on one issue, but in order to support the Republican Party, he could contradict himself like this. Said Rand Paul letter said all the leakers have to be found. We can't have intel officials willy-nilly releasing classified info. So you see, that's a hypocritical position by Rand Paul. But that's what partisan politics do to you, right? But anyway, that's not the point. Rand Paul is right on this issue. But look at this ratio. I don't know if you guys can see this. One of the most impressive ratios I have seen. 28,000 comments compared to only 12,000 likes. Over a 2-to-1 ratio was showing that everyone is pissed off at Rand Paul for saying something that is based. Everyone should be for repealing the Espionage Act, but also because we need to pardon Julian Assange. And I'm sorry, I just had to say I don't like that Rand Paul is a hypocrite, because if you support getting rid of the Espionage Act and you support standing for Julian Assange, how can you support Donald Trump? Like, how can you like the MAGA people makes no sense because they say, "Oh, Donald Trump, he came in, he drained the swamp." If Donald Trump drained the swamp, why is it? If he drained the swamp, why is the FBI going after him? Also, by the way, Rand Paul voted for Betsy DeVos, so you can't say. Anyway, there's a lot of hypocrisies there. You can't be a Trump supporter and then pretend that you're challenging the intelligence agency. So, despite Rand Paul saying it, it's the same criticism that I have of the squad, right? So the squad will say we support Medicare for all, but does that mean anything if you support the Democratic Party? So I told you guys this all the time. Like Rand Paul, Kim Iverson, these people, they sound good, but if you say you're going to vote for the two-party duopoly, you're doing the same thing that AOC and the squad does. If we're gonna be real, if we're gonna if we're gonna be 100% consistent. Anyway, sorry. Let me get into Charles Booker's response. So Charles Booker, seeing the fact that the liberal crowd is upset at Rand Paul for calling out the Espionage Act, he tweets this. Charles Booker says, Rand Paul is now calling to repeal the Espionage Act after the world learned Donald Trump is under investigation for violating it. When I am elected to the Senate, you will never have to question my loyalty to our country. That's the problem, Booker. I don't question your loyalty to our capitalist, imperialist United States government. I don't question your loyalty to the Biden administration. That is the problem, Booker. Is your loyalty to our capitalist imperialist state, the United States, or is your loyalty to the U.S. working class? If your loyalty is with the working class and the global working class, you should be. This should, even if you don't want to. I get it. Like if you play in politics, you have to, at least to some degree. So if you don't want to give Rand Paul credit for this, that's okay. You're running against him. I understand it's competitive. But how about shut the fuck up on this issue? There's 1,000 things that you can call out Rand Paul on, especially coming from the left on economics. He believes in trickle-down economics. He believes in feudalism. These right-wing libertarians, they are clowns in their economic beliefs. Literally the biggest bootlickers to power is their ideology. They give the power to the people that have the most wealth. You can call them out on that. So I feel like I'm not even being that hard on them. Come on, I get you gotta play politics, but why would you use this? Rand Paul's actions are shameful. Then he used it to fundraise. These fucking politicians, man. Gritty, he says, I don't give a fuck why he wants to repeal the Espionage Act. It should be repealed. You're telling us that you think protecting corruption is more important than protecting whistleblowers. Exactly. So, guys, do you understand how ridiculous this is? Because Cenk Uygur was just debating Brianna Joy Gray, and she just said, he said, I don't want to boss the FBI because it will help Trump and the Republicans. You have people say you can't trust the right wing on issues that you agree with them on. They say you can't trust the right wing on abolishing the FBI because even though they agree with you on the issue, what if they abolish the FBI and replace it with something worse? You guys see what they do? They want you to advocate caution. Go through the proper channels of abolishing it. This is the CIA playbook that we explained many times. Advocate caution, go through the proper channels. These same people, imagine if we had Republicans supporting Medicare for all. These people, using the logic they are using right now, they would say, oh, you can't be happy that Republicans support Medicare for all. I know they're saying they support Medicare for all, but I don't trust the way they would implement it. No one would say that. No one would say that. How about, just like Brown Joy Gray said, how about we propose a bill and see where you guys stand? When the Vanguard and Bree had their conversation, that was what the Vanguard was saying. Like, well, yeah, they support abolishing the FBI, but how do we know we can trust them? Who gives a shit? Let's get the policy done. Let's write the bill and let's get it fucking done. Imagine if you got people agreeing with you on Medicare for all, and you're like, yeah, I know we got them agreeing with us on Medicare for all, but I can't trust how you to implement it. That is not how politics works. That is not how it works. I want you to join my side, and then by crafting the bill and advocate for that, we will get what we want. How is this a hard concept to understand? I will never understand. So you notice when Nina Turner called out conservative hypocrisy on the FBI, and when Jimmy Dore went after her, they was like, oh, well, just calling out conservative hypocrisy on the FBI. You notice what she didn't mention, what she didn't bring up? She didn't mention her position. So, hey, Nina, do you support abolishing the FBI or do you not? And she meant, you notice how vague she was? I'm just calling out conservative hypocrisy. You notice at no point did she mention if she support abolishing the FBI, because she does not. That is not a position the Democratic Party will allow you to run on. The same way Nina Turner turned her back on BDS, that is not a position the Democratic Party will allow you to run on. They are sheep herders of the Overton window, and they will concede to the establishment on national security issues. They will concede to the establishment on foreign policy, and then they will say, "Oh, this is the progressive position. Funding Nazis in Ukraine is the progressive position. Voting for the Iron Dome in Israel is the progressive position. Hey, look at us. We're the progressive caucus. Don't you guys see the problem?" So we have to call out Bernie Sanders. We have to call Charles Booker and the progressives. That's their job. Yeah, they are this. I do agree. And not really them conceding. They are playing the role. I am saying that in response to the people who will say, why are you going after Charles Booker? Why are you going after Bernie Sanders? Why are you going after AOC? Aren't they the best we have? Aren't they the best we have? No! They are there to perform a job and a role, to get people fired up with anti-establishment rhetoric, and then when the time comes, they're there to take those people and say, hey, I know I talk a lot of shit. I know I said we want healthcare. The best way we can do that is go through the Democratic Party. right? That's how they pull everyone to the left. That's how they pull people to the right. That's how they pull progressives to the right on policing. That's how they pull progressives on the right on Julian Assange. And now they're doing the same thing to the Espionage Act. So he's in this tweet. I'm gonna go back to it just so you guys can see it again. In his tweet, he is upset because Rand Paul called for repealing the Espionage Act. Now, if you want to criticize Rand Paul for being a partisan on only caring about repealing the Espionage Act because it affects Trump, that is very legitimate. But you notice at no point in this tweet does he say, yeah, I agree we should repeal the Espionage Act, but we shouldn't do it in a partisan way like Rand Paul. That's an acceptable statement. When I say I want to abolish the FBI, I don't want to do it in a partisan way like Marjorie Taylor Greene, because I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, she will be unbiased. She will be extremely biased. Whatever she will replace that with will be there just to protect Republicans. So I don't think she's substitute. I don't see being honest about her position on the issue. So you can call that out. Like, yeah, I support repealing the Patriot Act. Yeah, I support repealing the Espionage Act. But the way Rand Paul is advocating for it, he's a liar. He's a partisan. You notice he doesn't say that because he doesn't agree. That's the key point, guys. They don't agree with us. They don't agree with us. This is the DSA, and this is their job to pull otherwise anti-establishment people to the right. So this is my tweet I put out yesterday. Just doing a quick track record of the DSA and their candidates just this year. They're now celebrating and apologizing for the Espionage Act, supporting NATO and U.S. proxy wars. And we're going to get to the second one. You guys, why are you calling out DSA? Aren't they at least somewhat good? No, their job is to take socialists, pull them to the right on imperialism, and then shepherd them to the Democratic Party. They are actually counterproductive. Yes, DSA can do a good job on mutual aid sometimes, but RBN, Tour for the Poor, we are showing you guys you do not need imperialist, capitalist supporting organizations like the DSA in order to engage in mutual aid. We can do it ourselves. This is Max Blumenthal. Self-styled progressive Charles Booker declares it's shameful that his opponent Rand Paul has called to repeal the Espionage Act, the undemocratic measure used to persecute dissenters from Debs to Assange. Booker is the pro-war security state candidate. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? So I'm glad that Max is calling that out. Now, before I'm gonna explain to you guys and show you guys black DSA members smearing the Uhuru Black Socialist movement because they want to defend the FBI and the squad. No, guys, I'm dead honest. I'm dead serious. That happened. That happened. Ever since, remember the story we covered of the FBI raiding black socialists? I called out how Nina Turner and Charles Booker are staying quiet. So since people saw me calling them out, people started smearing these people. DSA is a tool of the Democratic Party. DSA is a tool of imperialism. So it's not, oh, Nick, that's just one take. I know you really don't think that, right? This is not the first time that Charles Booker has attacked Rand Paul to his right. Rand Paul, the libertarian, you can attack him on economics all day. All day. But Charles Booker, for some reason, well, we know why, it keeps attacking him to the right every single time. This is, hold on to your armrest here, guys. Here's Charles Booker attacking Rand Paul to his right again. Charles Booker, Rand Paul opposes aid to Ukraine. He has proven himself to be a Russian stooge. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Booker. You guys see, he's writing his tweets. If you look at his timeline, Charles Booker tweets his political messaging is designed for shit libs. For Russiagate supporting shit libs. He ran against Amy McGrath. He was running against the Democratic establishment, supporting Medicare for all and other progressive policies, and running on that first. So then the Democratic Party outspent him 10-1 and defeated him and sent him a message that, hey, you're not going to win unless you fall in line. And Charles Booker said, yes, sir. Message received loud and clear. That is what Charles Booker said. So now he's proposing giving aid to the same Ukrainian Nazis that will call him an N-word. Literally, black humanitarian activists was warned not to go to Ukraine because there are not a lot of black people there, and there's a good chance they will call you monkey and N-words. That's who Charles Booker is apologizing to. Charles Booker and the progressives are for the global heist of the U.S. working class. Oh, guys, woo, it gets better. It gets better. Charles Booker quotes John McCain to attack Rand Paul. Charles Booker said, he quotes John McCain here. He says, the senator from Kentucky is now working for Vladimir Putin, quoting Senator John McCain. And he says, those words ring loud right now. I am running for Senate against Rand Paul to stand up for democracy. So he's using the Putin puppet talking point. This is unbelievable. Why? Why is he calling Ron Paul a Putin puppet? Because Rand Paul said, why the hell are we sending all this money to Ukraine? That's it. This is unbelievable. This is the progressive in the race. The DSA-backed candidate. Yeah, John McCain, why not quote Hitler? Yep. So you guys see who his audience is? Do you guys think this guy who was quoting John McCain is going to govern for us? No. He's there for the Amy McGrath liberals. And he's hoping he's still got a lot of you people tricked, which he does. Still got a lot of progressives cheering him on. Oh, I hope he beat Rand Paul. I hope John Fetterman beat Dr. Oz. The shit doesn't matter. They didn't support the national security state. John Fetterman also one of the people that say, oh, I stand with Ukraine. We got to send unlimited arms to Ukraine. Fuck him. Selling out the global working class. Once again, DSA. I'm going to show you guys the receipt what I was talking about earlier. So let's go back to DSA this year. Because we see Charles Booker, his stance on Ukraine. We see all the squad vote for money to Well, we still got a decent amount of people. My internet's fucking up. I already know this live stream will be a shit show. Just because my internet today. So I see what I can do. I'll probably just have to rely on clips. I may just delist this and then just cut clips. At least I got very far into my Charles Booker. I got pretty far into that my story, so I can at least clip that as a separate clip. So I already know this live stream about to do horrible now. I already lost like yeah, fuck, guys. I might have to take a break, man. I told you, like, fuck. I am not in a position where I can do this job. I'm not. I don't. Here we go again.